level of energy over here, ठीक है? So more younger people are sitting over here as compared to here. Come on, bhai. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. So probably my task would be, again, bringing you towards very simple key messages we all clinicians need to remember in our daily routine practice. So lots of information, many times we drown. फिर जब bedside पे जाते हैं, मरीज देखना शुरू करते हैं, so many patients waiting, short of time, कुछ चीज़ें skip हो जाती हैं mind से. Agree or disagree? करना भी चाहते हैं लेकिन कभी-कभी नहीं कर पाते, ठीक है? So it's a kind of a very simple presentation, just as a reminder कि आज जब हम जाएं तो थोड़ा सा commitment करके जाएं कि जी कुछ missing लोग हैं जिनको हम identify करने की कोशिश करेंगे, exactly the way we try to find out the missing million for hepatitis C. So there are a group of people who are being underdiagnosed, underestimated. Let's remind each other that we should not ignore these people. This slide changer is not working, or I'm not using it appropriately. Is this slide changer working? Okay, so I don't have anything to disclose. So in next couple of minutes, very simple agenda. Let's remind each other that how can we identify these missing millions of this steatotic or fatty liver disease, whatever you call, and what could be an evidence-based care plan we can actually practice in our everyday practice. No hard knowledge, no skyrocket science, something that can make a difference in lives of our patients. इतना heavy हो गया कि slides गायब होना शुरू हो गई. All right. Okay. So just imagine in a clinic day, I think हर दूसरे दिन नहीं तो हर तीसरे दिन तो शायद ऐसे patients आते ही होंगे. A young gentleman, 35 years old, pre-employed medical checkup हुआ, and he was found to have elevated ALT of 56. He's completely asymptomatic. आपने कहा okay, let's check your BMI and risk factor for hepatitis B and C, the most common cause of elevated ALT in Pakistan. कोई risk factors नहीं है. So he's asymptomatic, no risk factor for hepatitis B, C. You said, okay, let's check BMI, 22.4. थोड़ा सा time मिल गया था, clinic का start था, nurse से कह के आपने waist check करा ली. And look at the weight. Is it normal, slightly normal, elevated? What do you think? Elevated. 44 inches. और अगर centimeter में 44 inches सर ने convert भी कर लिया. Excellent. All right, impressive. In inches. All right. Yeah. Absolutely. I think this is a very practical point that, okay, all of the charts you would remember for the metabolic syndrome will be giving measurement of waist in centimeter. You remember? So if you just convert it into inches and remember, even if you might not need to measure, just ask the patient, what is your waist size? Men would definitely remember they're using trousers and all, and women will also remember. So that will save your 1 minute of measuring it. Okay? Very smart tip. Thank you very much, sir. So his may not be, but it may be better than nothing. Because so ये अब वो वाली बात हो गई कि chicken eggs आगे 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 वो बनी इसराइल का हाल था ना वो I'm so sorry. That's a reality. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. I totally agree. But in a very simple way, how many of you ask your staff to measure waist circumference in your clinic? Raise your hands. खुद कर लिया तो कर लिया और वो करने का टाइम अक्सर नहीं मिलता. ठीक है? So what I remember, one of my mentor asked me to remember, I try to be a perfectionist. सारे काम पड़े रह रहे Or he said, Amna, excellent is an enemy of good. Do you know that? And I say, now I remember. Trying to make something, it was for my research projects. पेंडिंग चल रहे हैं. तो आई थिंक जस्ट रिमेंबर दिस क्रिस्प इंफॉर्मेशन कि जब आप पेशेंट से पूछेंगे तो इट मे नॉट बी एक्यूरेट. लेकिन सपोज इफ यू आर इन ट्रबल, यू कांट मेजर इट, तो कुछ गुड इज नॉट द एनिमी ऑफ एक्सीलेंट. तो कुछ पता चल जाएगा अगर आप मरीज से वेस्ट पूछ लेंगे कि जी आपकी वेस्ट का साइज क्या है. बट थैंक यू वेरी मच सर. जस्ट रिमेंबर कि इंचेस में अगर आपको पता हो तो दिस विल मेक योर लाइफ ईजी. For this patient, his rest of the parameters are normal, and his serology for hepatitis B and C is normal. His HbA1c came out to be 6.1. His cholesterols are fine. What do you think about his HDL? Low. Okay? And his liver enzymes are transaminases are slightly elevated. Gamma GT kuch lab ke cutoff pe aapko borderline high lag raha hoga. So, and he said, so what is my problem and why I have it? He's not having any symptoms of autoimmune. He's not taking alcohol. He's not on medication. And he said, so gentlemen, you're having this MASLD. Is it, what's MASLD? Is it, आपके liver में चर्बी जमा हो गई है, fat जमा हो गया. But he said, but why I'm having it? मेरा तो वजन भी ज़्यादा नहीं है. तो आपने कहा देखें, जो lean लोग होते हैं, उनमें भी ये fat जमा हो जाता है. And he said, तो ये lean कौन होते हैं? So we just remember that the Asian criteria for the normal and obesity and overweight is different. But what is the problem for this criteria? Using BMI as a measurement of obesity. What is the problem? The problem with BMI is it cannot distinguish fat mass with the lean muscle mass. Agree? And that can lead to misclassification. So the muscular people may not be having that much fat. For example, the bodybuilders may be, or people who are athletes, they may be is actually labeled as obese. And the people who are actually sarcopenic, they may be labeled as falsely normal. Which simply means that we should be using some other criteria when we are labeling them lean, obese, or when we are trying to assess are they having extra fat in their peripheral part of or not. Which simply means that ke lean ke liye for time being, definitely we use cutoff criteria of BMI less than 23, considered as lean. Underweight को less than 18 को छोड़ के between 18 to 23 के साथ अगर कहीं आ रहा है तो you tell them you are lean muffled or lean muscled or lean nuffled. But there are limitation of these criteria. So just remember they're trying to bring your attention towards that. Which simply means that कि जी जब भी आपने लोगों को assess करना है, इनके anthropometric measurements को ज़रूर देखें. Now this patient is asking a question. Doc, is this common or I am the lucky one? So what is your answer? Gentlemen, this is not uncommon. Probably undermissed. So what the data says? The data says if 1 out of 3 adults have NAFLD, और अगर दूसरी तरफ चले जाएं, so many times like 20% of all MAFLD or MESL patients are lean. 34% wide range has been reported from the different areas of the world. In general, 10 to 13% global lean MESL is actually in the pool of people having MESL. Who is having the higher one? Asians. Asians at a higher risk. So the data which is available from China, whatever is it, India and Korea, they also reflected that higher prevalence of lean, MASLD or MAFLD is pooled in these region. And we are Asian. Which simply means कि हमारा तो data ही हमें पता नहीं है. So we are actually under-recognizing this entity in our population. And he's asking next question. But why I'm having it? That's brought you towards the reminder that these people having an insulin resistant pattern similar to the obese people, but they have reduced mitochondrial function and they have increased de novo lipogenesis. They have decreased capacity to store fat in the subcutaneous tissue, lipodystrophy phenotype, genetically or acquired, and they have lower muscle mass. On the other hand, definitely they have higher circulating free fatty acids, decreased adiponectin level, but the microbiota are slightly different as compared to obese people. For instance, they have lower abundance of Faecalibacterium and Ruminococcus, and they are having less lactobacillus, and so the quantity were not different, whatever the studies has been done on microbiota, but the species have been found a little different. They have genetic predispositions. These are the genes they also have. But on the other hand, very high usage of fructose have been identified in patients having lean. So the dietary history is again important. जब भी कभी आप lean muffled या muscle देख रहे होंगे. So these people have they have like high visceral adiposity as compared to the lean non-NAFLD patients, as compared to an obese one. Peripheral adiposity इनमें कम होगी, लेकिन visceral adiposity ज़्यादा होगी. Metabolic factors more or less similar to the obese people with a slight difference in the risk factor. Now he's asking a question. Is this dangerous for me? I'm young, I'm thin. Is it dangerous for me? Yes, this is dangerous. Why? Because the data shows that approximately 1.5 times higher risk of cardiovascular mortality is associated with this condition. All-cause mortality is high. They may have a faster progression of disease and or a same level, but a group of people has been identified as faster progression of disease, leading to increased all-cause mortality as well as liver-related mortality in the certain case series. So it's a kind of a paradox. It's a kind of a paradox that they are actually diagnosed late because we are not suspecting. We're thinking that कि भाई ये तो ठीक लगते हैं और कहीं ना कहीं मिस हो जाते हैं और नहीं पकड़े जाते. They do develop sarcopenias, and they may have actually sarcopenias due to different reasons. High visceral fat again is a kind of a risk factor. Genetic variants, ये वाले जो genetic variants है, they lead to aggressive phenotype, rapid progression of disease. Advanced presentation, because many times they remain underdiagnosed. And this is how is actually these missing millions are actually having a faster progression of disease. Histopathological pattern, a little different slightly, that they may have moderate steatosis as compared to severe steatosis among obese, MAFLD or MESL patients, and the slightly lesser severe inflammation, but based upon genetic tendency, they may have higher risk of progression. And now he's asking, what is happening?
Okay. It started to exercise whatever you've been seeing.
Getting inspired, okay? Getting inspired and terrorized कि भाई इतने सारे लोग undiagnosed घूम रहे हैं, तो उनका क्या करना है? Okay, so जब तक slides वापस आती हैं, how many lean, MESL or MAFLD you do see in your daily practice, roughly? Dr. Javed Farooqi. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the next point, that me as a doctor, what can I do? So जैसे सर ने कहा, डॉक्टर जावेद फारूकी ने कहा कि हम अप्लाई नहीं कर रहे. So what we need to do? Suspect. Okay? Suspect, early identify, do simple minimal workup, especially when you are practicing in Pakistan, identify them and then treat them. Okay. तो slides तो नहीं आ रही, हम वैसे ही discuss कर लेते हैं. Okay. When to suspect? When to suspect? The same criteria. Anybody who's coming with even one factor of metabolic syndrome, suspect that this person, if even not having obesity, even this person can have MESL. So just start the same criteria as you apply on obese people. Now, what do you have in your toolbox when you are practicing in Pakistan? From where you can start? I think in the morning you might have discussed this thing. Again, the same criteria if you are working. In a third world country, you can use very simple lab tests to identify this. So suspect, assess the disease severity, identify the risk factor, assess for complications, CKM syndrome के अलावा भी systemic complication, and then treat the disease as well as the complication. So ये हमने बात कर ली कि कहीं पे भी risk factor कोई भी एक metabolic syndrome का आ रहा है, just screen them. So for a low middle income country, ALT simple, an ultrasound of the liver simple will give you the presence or absence of fat in the liver. हिस्ट्री पे आपने बाकी चीज़ें रूल आउट की, जहां आपको लगा कि जी हेपेटाइटिस बी सी हो सकता है वहां आपने चेक करा लिया, रिस्क फैक्टर नहीं है, अल्कोहल नहीं है, ऑटोइम्यून नहीं लगता, एक्सटेंसिव वर्कअप की ज़रूरत नहीं है, एंड नाउ यू कैन असेस द सिवियरिटी by assessing the fibrosis. If you're working in resource limited settings, FIB-4 fibrosis, FIB-4 index is a good calculator, you can use it. And if you are working where the resources are available, simple fibroscan can give you an idea about the degree of fibrosis. What is other than that is important? We should just remember that all of these parameters that we use to assess the fibrosis, they have higher performance when somebody are having lower BMI as compared to a higher BMI. So these lean NAFL patient or muscle patient, अगर इनमें आप stiffness or whatever criteria are you using to measure the degree of fibrosis, they are having a better performance. Follow कैसे करना है? Exactly the same way as you follow the obese people. FIB-4 calculate किया, risk factor देखे, ALT देखा, low risk में है, follow up कर लें. Again, even a primary care setup or in a tertiary care setup, 1 to 2 years में आपने उनको follow किया. If they are falling in an intermediate and high risk group, then follow the same criteria as you follow for the obese patient. Now, this is the toughest part कि हम इन्हें treat कैसे करें. So the basic principle, can anybody tell me that how much weight loss we recommend to this group of patients to start to begin with? लिखा भी हुआ 3 to 5%. Why not more than that? Why not more than that? नुकसान क्या होगा? कोलिलिथिएसिस और they are already lean, ज़्यादा weight loss हम नहीं कह रहे, लेकिन अगर ज़्यादा कह दें तो नुकसान क्या होगा? सार्कोपीनिया हो जाएगा. And sarcopenia still is a risk factor for all cause mortality. Okay? So I think lifestyle modification हर जगह पे is a cornerstone of the treatment here as well. But यहाँ आपने याद रखना है कि when you are recommending them, just recommend them that 3 to 5% weight loss, and more than that usually is not recommended. And the diet which is found most useful is the Mediterranean diet. What exactly the Mediterranean diet is? बहुत को पता है? Let's remind it. What's exactly the Mediterranean diet? So the foundations is vegetables, lentils, fruit. ये सबसे बड़ी foundation है. और उसके बाद oil कहाँ से आएगा? Fat कहाँ से आएगा? Olive oils or good oils. और protein कहाँ से आ रहे होंगे? Dairies, eggs, milk, yogurt. Red meat का consumption आपने कम किया है. ठीक है? बहुत सिंप्लीफाई 1 मिनट की काउंसलिंग होगी पेशेंट्स के लिए, जब अगर आप उनसे कहें कि भाई ये आपकी डाइट है, इसमें सबसे ज़्यादा आपका जो आपने इस्तेमाल करना है दीज आर दीज, फैट के लिए आपने ये इस्तेमाल करना है, प्रोटीन के लिए कोशिश करें कि आप ये चीज़ें इस्तेमाल कर लें. ओके, सो द मेडिटेरियन डाइट हैज़ बीन फाउंड इज एक्चुअली वेरी यूजफुल फॉर दीज पीपल. एक्सरसाइज, थैंक यू वेरी मच. डॉक्टर बिलाल हैज़ ऑलरेडी हाईलाइटेड दैट कि जी कितनी एक्सरसाइज मिनिमम हमें उन्हें रेकमेंड करनी चाहिए. और अगर कोई कहता है कि जी मेरे तो घुटनों में दर्द होता है, अब पाकिस्तान में ये बहुत बड़ा मसला है, 40 साल के लोगों के घुटनों में भी दर्द होता है. अग्री और डिसअग्री? तो उन्हें क्या करें? घुटने चेंज कराना नहीं चाहते हम, हमें सर्जरी से बहुत डर लगता है. साइकिलिंग उससे घुटने में और दर्द होने से. साइकिलिंग और स्विमिंग. अच्छा, अब 40 साल की आंटी है, वो कह रही है मैं तो. These are practical problems. क्या करें? Resistance training. Absolutely. So if the facilities are available, send them to someone who can guide them. कि resistance training कैसे करनी है. अच्छा, अब पंजाब के एक रिमोट से एरिया में आप मरीज देख रहे हैं, कहाँ जाए, क्या करें? सिंध में ठट्टा में आप बैठे हुए हैं, अब ठट्टा में तो है ही नहीं कोई ट्रेनिंग देने वाला, अब क्या करें? Absolutely. So, Mike.
You assess them for metabolic diseases, for hepatic disease, for kidney disease. You know, it's simple. HbA1c, EGFR, AURC, albumin to creatinine and urine ratio, weight, waist, BMI, you know, all simple. And I add neurological to it. So, you know, it is C, R, H, M, and N. So, degenerative neurological diseases plus, you know, ischemic diseases as well, in addition to. So, you have to assume the role. We have to train our people, all the practitioners, to assume that role of a multidisciplinary specialist. Calculate the cardiac risk score just using your smartphone and only refer those patients where you cannot provide this. Be a nutritionist, be a physiotherapist, and to deal with metabolic diseases, especially in Pakistan, you have to become a multidisciplinary specialist.
Absolutely. So you are the flag bearer, okay? So even when the resources are less, वहाँ पे भी कहीं ना कोई solution निकालना है. जहाँ facility होगी आपने सब specialist को involve किया. For example, a coach for the physical activity will make a program for that person, what type of exercises this person can do, and definitely take the patient with them. But what about if they are in a resource restrained setup? वहाँ क्या कर सकते हैं? A lot. Okay, you yourself. For example, मोबाइल सबके पास है. आपने उनसे कहा कि जी एक पीडोमीटर डाउनलोड कर लें. आप एक पीडोमीटर डाउनलोड करें. I'm just giving an example how you can actually make a difference. A pedometer will give them an idea, set a target. देखिए आपने शुरू में 3000 स्टेप 24 आवर्स में पूरे करने हैं. अपने स्टेप्स गिनते रहें. सारा दिन आप कितना चलते हैं. वो किचन में जा रही हैं खातून, वो घर के अंदर जा रही हैं, जेंटलमैन इज गोइंग टू द ऑफिस. सेट अ टारगेट फॉर देम एंड देन अगेन आस्क देम कि जी जब 3000 स्टेप्स करने के काबिल हो गए हैं तो 5000 पे चले जाएं, 10000 पे चले जाएं. And again, the resistant exercises and all you can guide them. And if you have some time, you can do for your patient that YouTube पे यहाँ वहाँ अगर कोई reasonable सी ऐसी videos exercise program की आपको कहीं मिल जाती हैं जिस पे chair पे बैठ के वो exercise कर सकते हैं, just download them. आपके clinic में अगर कहीं वो एक आपने लगाया हुआ है और उस पे वो run हो रही है, when they are waiting for you, they can see that exercise. So what I'm just trying to bring your attention towards as a counts of a social accountability as a doctor that कि बहुत सारी चीज़ों के लिए 1 minute 2 minute के आपकी जो efforts होंगी, you can actually develop a kind of simple educational material for your patients, which you actually just direct them and they can use it, not only for diet but for also exercises as well. Because what happens is many times when we refer them to a dietitian or a therapist, 10% goes to them, 90% doesn't go to them because of cost or non-availability or whatever. So what you can do, you can bring some difference in their lives by doing this. So treat all of the metabolic factor associated with them. I'm not touching the treatment remains same, the medical therapy, okay? But before that, so the maximum investment what we need to do, we need to take our patients away from the medication by bringing a culture of healthy lifestyle in their lives. Okay, so what point I remember by this entire discussion, I will not, entire discussion, these are under recognized category of people. They are not only at higher risk of cardiovascular event and sarcopenia, but all cause mortality and the liver related mortalities as well. A lot to discover, to make identification early, and a lot to do to save them in GLP-1 era, which you are offering to diabetics as well as obese, but may not
for this group of people, especially if they are not diabetic. So we are the source of hope for this group of people. Invest your some efforts to develop a kind of simple package for your patient to inculcate the culture of exercise and lifestyle, जो आपका टाइम भी ज़्यादा ना लगे और आप अपनी क्लिनिक में उनको ऑफर कर रहे हो. Thank you very much.